Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Quote of the day: never give up. Today is hard, tomorrow will be worse, but the day after tomorrow will be shine. Assalamu alaikum. Today, the topic of my presentation is community participation under kind supervision of Professor Dr. Saira Afzal. And the learning outline of my presentation is introduction, stakeholder analysis, community mobilization, problem tree analysis, recent update, and at the end, there is an MCQ session. At the end of this presentation, participants will be able to describe about the community participation, stakeholder analysis, recent update, and the MCQs. These are the four principles of primary healthcare: community participation, intersectoral coordination, appropriate technology, and support mechanism made available. And the community participation is one of the strong component of primary healthcare. And now we discuss how we will encourage the community to participate in different activities and their methods. Community participation, involvement of people in a community in projects to solve their own problem. People cannot be forced to participate in projects which affect their lives. It should be given the opportunity where it is possible. There are many incentives of community participation. Community participation motivates people to work together. People feel a sense of community and recognize the benefit of their involvement. Social, religious, or traditional obligation for mutual help. Genuine community participation, people see a genuine opportunity to better their own lives and for the community as a whole. Remuneration in cash or kind. However, there are many disincentives of community participation and unfair distribution of work or benefits among members of the community. A highly individualistic society where there is little or no sense of community, the feeling that the government or agency should provide the facilities, agency treatment of if people are treated as being helpless, they are more likely to act as if they are. There are different types of stakeholders which are involved in community participation: primary stakeholder, secondary stakeholder, and external stakeholder. Men, women, child, and elderly people are primary stakeholder. Local people, local authorities, religious leader, and NGOs are secondary stakeholder, and the donor and local population is external stakeholder. Now, what is stakeholder analysis? A useful tool to assess whom the program will affect positively or negatively and who should have stake in the program. This should be used to identify key stakeholders and their interest in the program or ongoing project. The likely effect or impact of the program on each stakeholder is indicated as either positive or negative. The influence of these stakeholders over the current project is ranked between 1 and 6. 1 is used for maximum influence and 6 is used for minimum influence. The importance of each stakeholder from program success is also ranked between 1 and 6. 1 is the most important. This ranking can be done by a group of agency staff at the onset of program or by a group of different stakeholders. However, the process should be as objective as possible. These are the summary of one ongoing project in which they categorize the different stakeholders, primary, secondary, and external stakeholder, and then they give the impact whether it is positive or negative, and then they give the rank between 1 and 6 about the project which is ongoing. Gender and vulnerable group. It is important to make sure about a minority groups in a community. First, we discuss the gender. Gender basically based on a sex, but it is more do with socially constructed distinction. Gender-related differences can be split into three categories. You should care about the different needs and priorities of a man and woman, capacity, power, and vulnerability difference also in your mind. Equity and equality issues are also solved. People with disabilities. People with physical and mental disabilities can often be overlooked in many emergency programs. They are most vulnerable in most societies and are often unable to present their own needs and priority clearly. For this reason, they should be given special attention where it is possible. And elderly people are also equally important because elderly people living without younger family members may be unable to participate in physical activities. So these type of group are also considered in the projects when start in the communities. How we mobilize our community. It is applied to way in which people can be encouraged and motivated to participate in a program activities. Care must be taken to ensure that all community members must be represented by a motivation, facilitation, and capacity building. In motivation, motivate one group of people may not motivate other group of people. Raising awareness about public health aspect of sanitation may motivate people. Opportunity to raise one's status or position in a society may be a stronger motivating force for the whole community. Facilitation. Facilitation in the context of a group meeting applies to how a person with no decision-making authority help the group to be more efficient and effective in planning, implementing, monitoring, and evaluating. This is a difficult role to assume, but it is important if the community is to be given real decision-making power and responsibility. Professionals may need appropriate gender training or capacity building in participatory research and planning technique in order to become effective facilitators. Now it's come the capacity building. Capacity building at community level may be more important to develop skills and build confidence. This may be especially important for women who may lack experience for contributing in a community planning. Capacity building through skills, training, and confidence building can be a key ingredient in motivating and mobilizing different sections of a community. Now there are different techniques which are used in the community participation. Participatory appraisal technique. Participatory rural appraisal and rapid rural appraisal are social research techniques used in the field when resource and time are often limited. These techniques require trained facilitator and substantial time investment if they are to be fully effective. The key difference between the two methods are rapid rural appraisal is a method used by outsiders to acquire information about a community quickly, and participatory rural appraisal is aimed at strengthening the analyzing and decision-making power of the affected community. Four participatory rural appraisal activities are carried out in a small groups like mapping, ranking, diagramming, and discussion. Now, what is mapping? Community mapping is a useful tool for collecting information from the community concerning the location of activities, which may not be obvious for observation alone. This may also help to explain how the affected community views their situation and where they see opportunities or constraints. This method is most effective when used by a small group working to produce a large sketch map of the area in which they live. The map produced may be crudely drawn and not to scale, but can still provide valuable information. Ranking. Community members are asked to list their priorities in terms of their overall, for example, sanitation related needs and their perceived needs for different facilities. The group facilitators should help to guide the group in considering what facilities or activities may be appropriate, but ideas should come primarily from the participants. This is one of the table which showing the how the community will rank their problem. Priority needs in first is preventing diarrhea, clean environment, preventing malaria, traditional funerals and family facilities. And the community members rank these all type of facilities according to their needs. Diagramming. Diagrams, charts, and card may be used to illustrate relationship concerning people, resource, or time. Examples include calendar of activities, chart of resources used, or traditional leadership trees. For longer term settlements, chart may be very useful for recording seasonal trend related to hygiene, behavior, and health. This may help in identifying and prioritizing needs and action. Shading or pictures may be used to indicate relevant problem. Discussion. The most common participative activity is discussion. This may take place in focus group or in more general meeting. The job of the facilitator is to focus and steer these discussion and make sure that a woman, man, community leaders are all part of the focus group during discussion. Problem tree analysis. Before selecting specific action, it is important that stakeholders identify and give their weight to existing problem that need to be addressed or potential problem that may affect the development of the program. This may be achieved through a ranking exercise. This can also be developed these problem into objective, which can be used in action selection. It is suggested that this be done by the community planning team for each relevant. For example, problem tree analysis example that if there is a no family latrine in a community, so there is the diarrhea, dirty latrine, open defecation, assaults on women, and there is no family latrine present. Why there is no family latrine is present? Because there are no tools, no man to construct, and insufficient materials. So this how the community will describe their problem with the help of this problem tree. And what is objective analysis? The problem tree produced through the problem analysis process can be transformed into a hierarchy of objective. This is done by rewording all the problem in the tree and making them into objectives. Every family to have its own latrine, reduce incidence of diarrhea, family keeps latrine clean, no open defecation, minimize need for women to be alone, provide tools to all street leaders, mobilize team for vulnerable households, provide construction material. So the problem tree analysis converted into objective tree analysis. Now action analysis. From the list of objective key action to satisfy these must be selected. The facilitator can help group participants by providing a range of options from which to choose and outlining the key advantages and constraints of each. Finance generation is also one of the problems which faces in the communities. Community participation can also include finance generation activities, and this may be a key starting point in a giving communities greater responsibilities, removing dependence on external support, and promoting sustainability. In many emergency situations, the affected community soon initiate some economic activity through trade and service provision. This may include setting up food markets, hairdresser or tailors, and the activities are built on existing skills and needs within the community. Recent update. This is one of the article, Community Participation and Empowerment in Primary Healthcare and Emilia-Romagna, a document analysis study. Community participation and empowerment are seen as fundamental for achieving equitable people-centered primary healthcare. 3 national and 12 regional documents dated between 2006 and 2019 were evaluated. The policies continuously address the importance of community participation. The documents point to the end for democratic practice and shared decision-making power. Third sector organizations are seen as salient community representative and mediators. Policies that consider the ambiguous role of third sector, specify community empowerment, identify strategies to facilitate it, and collaborate with vulnerable groups could be a beneficial for further progress. Now it's time for the MCQ. In XYZ community, a famous NGO installed water filtration plant for providing the clean and safe water. Which type of stakeholder involved in this activity? Primary stakeholder, secondary stakeholder, tertiary stakeholder, internal stakeholder, or external stakeholder?
External.
B.
Secondary stakeholder is the right one. In XYZ community, stakeholder analysis is done for the ongoing project and the committee members give the rank 6 for that project. Which type of influence of project shown by this figure? Maximum influence, medium influence, minimum influence, or positive influence?
Minimum influence.
C, minimum influence is the right answer. For the start of a program in the community, team identify community leaders and all community members must be represented. This type of activity falls in which category? Community mobilization, participatory appraisal technique, problem tree analysis, or stakeholder analysis?
B.
C.
A,
C.
mobilization. A trained facilitator using technique in which they quickly gather information about the community. Which type of technique is this? Participatory appraisal technique, rapid rural appraisal, participatory rural appraisal, rural development agency.
A.
B, rapid rural appraisal. A trained
B.
facilitator quickly gather information about the community. So the correct answer is rapid rural appraisal technique. In XYZ community, training workshop for the women is organized for the success of project. Which parameter of community mobilization fulfill in this category? Motivation, facilitation, capacity building, evaluation, or monitoring?
C. Capacity building.
C, capacity building is the right answer. A trained facilitator using technique and the main aim is strengthening the analyzing and decision-making power of the affected community. Which type of technique is used? Participatory appraisal technique, rapid rural appraisal, participatory rural appraisal, rural development agency.
D.
Participatory rural appraisal. Interactive process where community members identify problem, formulate objective, and select appropriate action. Which type of analysis is this? Problem tree analysis, stakeholder analysis, objective analysis, community analysis?
A.
A is the right
D.
answer. A is the right answer, problem tree analysis, because community member identify problem, formulate objective, and select appropriate action. In peri-urban area, a local resident donated room to an NGO to start an immunization center. This is an example of community participation, community appraisal technique, community mobilization, intersectoral collaboration.
C.
A.
A,
A.
community participation is right answer. Community participation is one of the strong component of which level of health system, primary healthcare, secondary healthcare, tertiary healthcare, or basic healthcare.
Primary healthcare.
A.
Primary healthcare is the right one. Different group of people is identified within affected population as well as local authorities and agency. Which type of analysis is this? Problem tree analysis, stakeholder analysis, objective analysis, community analysis.
D.
A.
B, stakeholder analysis is right answer. Different group of people identify and local authorities and agencies. So this is done in stakeholder analysis. This is the key of my MCQs and thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Naila. Very nice presentation. Would you please, if go to the